Hello, family. Welcome to Storytime Mutually. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories. Like and share this video to your friends and loved ones. Thank you as you do so. Sit back, relax as we dive into the story. In the picturesque town of Meadowgrove, where the sun painted the landscape with hues of gold and green, stood the grand farmhouse of the revered Sterling family. The farmhouse was not just a building, it was a testament to the Sterling legacy, a symbol of their hard work, dedication, and the love that had been poured into it for generations. Valued at an astonishing $9 million, the farmhouse was the crown jewel of the Sterling estate. Victoria Sterling, the eldest of the Sterling siblings, had always been the epitome of responsibility and diligence. After the untimely passing of their parents, Victoria took the reins of the farmhouse, ensuring it remained a beacon of their family's heritage. She was known throughout Meadowgrove for her sharp wit, unyielding determination, and the warmth she brought to every room she entered. Her younger brother, Alexander, was a stark contrast to Victoria. While she was steadfast and reliable, Alexander was a dreamer, always chasing the next big adventure. His impulsive nature often led him into trouble, but his charm and wit usually helped him find a way out. Despite their differences, Victoria and Alexander shared a deep bond, forged in the shared memories of their childhood and the love for their family's legacy. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves crunched underfoot and the air held a hint of the coming winter, Victoria received a letter that would change her life forever. The envelope was plain, bearing no return address, and the handwriting was unfamiliar. As she opened it, her heart pounded with a sense of foreboding. The letter revealed that the farmhouse, her pride and joy, had been sold. The deed bore Alexander's signature, and the new owner was a mysterious corporation named Enigma Holdings. But what truly shocked Victoria was the sale price, a mere $3. She read the letter over and over, her mind racing as she tried to comprehend the betrayal. How could Alexander sell their family's legacy for practically nothing? And who was behind Enigma Holdings? The questions swirled in her mind like a storm, threatening to consume her. She knew she had to act fast, to unravel the mystery before it was too late. Victoria's first stop was the town hall, where she hoped to find answers in the property records. The clerk, an old friend of the family, greeted her warmly, but grew somber as she explained her predicament. He pulled out the deed, confirming her worst fears. The farmhouse had indeed been sold, and Alexander's signature was clear as day. As Victoria left the town hall, she felt a mix of anger and despair. She knew she had to confront Alexander, to understand why he had done this. But first, she needed to gather her thoughts and formulate a plan. She returned to the farmhouse, her sanctuary, and sat in the study, surrounded by the memories of her family. As she looked around the room, her eyes fell on an old photograph of her and Alexander as children, laughing and carefree. It was a reminder of the love they shared, and it gave her the strength she needed to face the challenges ahead. She knew that no matter what, she would fight to protect her family's legacy, even if it meant confronting the darkness that lurked within Enigma Holdings. Little did Victoria know, the journey she was about to embark on would reveal secrets buried deep within the farmhouse's walls, secrets that would change her life forever. Victoria's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts as she sat in the study, the weight of her family's legacy pressing down on her. She knew she had to act quickly to unravel the mystery surrounding the sale of the farmhouse. Her first instinct was to confront Alexander, but she needed more information before she could face him. She remembered the stories her grandmother used to tell, tales of hidden treasures and secret passages within the farmhouse. One story, in particular, stood out in her memory, the legend of the Forgotten Clause. According to the tale, the farmhouse's original deed contained a hidden clause known only to the Sterling family. The clause stated that if the farmhouse was ever sold for less than its market value, the seller would forfeit all rights to a secret treasure buried within the property. Victoria had always dismissed the story as a fanciful tale, a bedtime story meant to entertain children. But now, as she faced the reality of the farmhouse's sale, the legend took on a new significance. She wondered if there was any truth to the forgotten clause and if it could be the key to understanding Alexander's actions. Determined to find answers, Victoria set out to uncover the original deed. She knew that the town's archives held centuries of documents, and she hoped that the deed would be among them. The archives were housed in an old stone building, its walls lined with shelves groaning under the weight of history. The air was thick with the scent of aged parchment and dust, and the silence was broken only by the occasional creak of the floorboards. Victoria spent hours poring over ancient documents, her eyes scanning the faded ink for any mention of the Sterling farmhouse. Finally, tucked away in a dusty corner, she found what she was looking for: the original deed, yellowed with age and brittle to the touch. With trembling hands, she carefully unfolded the document, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she read through the legal jargon, she found the hidden clause, tucked away in the fine print. It was real, and Alexander had unknowingly triggered it by selling the farmhouse for a pittance. The clause read, **, should the Sterling farmhouse be sold for a sum less than its true value, the seller shall forfeit all rights to the treasure hidden within its walls. The treasure shall remain the property of the Sterling family, to be passed down through the generations as a testament to their legacy. **. Victoria's mind raced as she realized the implications of the clause. If the legend was true, then the farmhouse held a secret treasure, one that was now at risk of being lost forever. She knew she had to find the treasure before Enigma Holdings could claim it. But where to begin? The farmhouse was vast, with countless rooms and hidden corners. Victoria remembered the stories of secret passages and hidden chambers, and she wondered if the treasure could be concealed within one of them. She decided to start her search in the oldest part of the farmhouse, the wing that had been built by her ancestors centuries ago. As she made her way through the dimly lit corridors, Victoria couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The farmhouse, once a place of comfort and familiarity, now felt foreign and unsettling. She pushed aside her fears and focused on her mission, determined to uncover the truth and protect her family's legacy. Little did she know, her journey would lead her down a path of discovery and danger, one that would test her courage and her faith in her family. Victoria's heart pounded with a mix of excitement and trepidation as she delved deeper into the farmhouse's secrets. The ancient walls seemed to whisper tales of the past, guiding her through the labyrinthine corridors. She knew that the treasure, if it existed, would not be easily found. The Sterling ancestors had been clever and resourceful, hiding their secrets well. As she explored the oldest wing of the farmhouse, Victoria noticed subtle signs that she was on the right track. Carvings in the stonework, barely visible to the untrained eye, depicted symbols that matched those in the family's old journals. She remembered her grandmother's stories about how the Sterlings had used these symbols to mark hidden passages and chambers. One symbol, in particular, caught her attention: a stylized sun with rays extending in all directions. It was a symbol of hope and guidance, and it seemed to beckon her forward. She followed the trail of symbols, her anticipation growing with each step. Meanwhile, Alexander, realizing the gravity of his actions, sought out Victoria. He had been consumed by guilt since the sale, unable to face his sister or the consequences of his impulsive decision. He found Victoria in the old wing, her eyes scanning the walls with a determined expression. "Victoria," he called out, his voice barely above a whisper. She turned to face him, her eyes filled with a mix of anger and relief. "Alexander," she said, her voice steady despite the turmoil within her. "We need to talk." Alexander nodded, his shoulders slumped in defeat. "I know. I made a terrible mistake, Victoria. I never meant for any of this to happen." Victoria took a deep breath, her resolve unwavering. "We can't change the past, but we can fight to protect our future. I found the forgotten clause, Alexander. The farmhouse holds a secret treasure, and we need to find it before Enigma Holdings does." Alexander's eyes widened in surprise. "A treasure? But how?" Victoria quickly explained the hidden clause and the symbols guiding her search. Alexander listened intently, his guilt slowly giving way to determination. He knew he had to make amends, to help Victoria in her quest to protect their family's legacy. Together, they followed the trail of symbols, their bond strengthening with each step. They discovered hidden passages and secret chambers, each one revealing a piece of the puzzle. In one chamber, they found an old family journal, its pages filled with cryptic clues and riddles. As they deciphered the clues, Victoria and Alexander uncovered the truth behind Enigma Holdings. The corporation was a front for a ruthless businessman named Richard Blackwood, who had been trying to acquire the farmhouse for years. He knew about the treasure and had manipulated Alexander into selling the property, playing on his impulsive nature and desire for adventure. With each revelation, Victoria and Alexander grew more determined to outsmart Blackwood and reclaim their family's legacy. They knew that the final clue would lead them to the treasure, but they also knew that Blackwood would stop at nothing to claim it for himself. Their journey took them to the heart of the farmhouse, a hidden chamber deep within the foundations. The air was thick with the scent of ancient secrets, and the walls were adorned with intricate carvings depicting the Sterling family's history. As they stepped into the chamber, Victoria and Alexander knew that they were on the cusp of a discovery that would change their lives forever. But they also knew that danger lurked in the shadows, and they would have to face it together to protect their family's legacy. The hidden chamber was dimly lit, the air thick with the weight of centuries. Victoria and Alexander stood at the threshold, their hearts pounding with anticipation and a touch of fear. They knew that the final clue would lead them to the treasure, but they also knew that Richard Blackwood was close on their heels. As they stepped into the chamber, the faint glow of ancient lanterns flickered to life, casting eerie shadows on the stone walls. The room was circular, with intricate carvings depicting scenes from the Sterling family's history. At the center stood a pedestal, upon which rested an ornate chest, its surface adorned with precious gems that sparkled in the lantern light. Victoria approached the chest with reverence, her fingers tracing the intricate patterns on its surface. She could feel the weight of her family's legacy in her hands. With a deep breath, she opened the chest, revealing the treasure within. Inside lay a collection of ancient artifacts and precious gems, each one more breathtaking than the last. There were golden coins bearing the insignia of long-forgotten kingdoms, jeweled pendants that sparkled like the stars, and scrolls containing secrets of the past. But the most precious item was a beautifully crafted locket, its surface engraved with a Sterling family crest. As Victoria held the locket, she felt a deep connection to her ancestors, a sense of pride and responsibility. She knew that this treasure was not just about wealth, but about the love and dedication that had been passed down through generations. Meanwhile, Alexander kept watch, his eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of danger. He knew that Blackwood would not give up easily, and they had to be prepared for anything. His instincts proved correct as the sound of footsteps echoed through the chamber, growing louder with each passing second. Blackwood emerged from the shadows, his eyes gleaming with greed and malice. "I must commend you both," he sneered. "You've led me straight to the treasure. But now it's mine." Victoria stood her ground, her voice steady and determined. "You may have manipulated Alexander, but you will never take what belongs to the Sterling family. This treasure is our legacy, and we will protect it with our lives." Alexander stepped forward, standing shoulder to shoulder with his sister. "You underestimated us, Blackwood. We may have our differences, but when it comes to our family, we stand united." Blackwood laughed, a cold and calculating sound. "Very well, but you should know that I never come unprepared." He reached into his pocket, revealing a document that sent a chill down Victoria's spine, a forged deed claiming ownership of the farmhouse and its contents. But Victoria was not deterred. She had anticipated Blackwood's deceit and had taken precautions. She produced a letter from her own pocket, signed by a renowned lawyer, invalidating the sale and exposing Blackwood's fraudulent activities. "Your schemes end here, Blackwood," Victoria declared. "The farmhouse and its treasure will remain in the Sterling family, where they belong." Defeated, Blackwood retreated into the shadows, his plans foiled by the siblings' unwavering resolve. Victoria and Alexander knew that their journey was far from over, but they had won a significant battle. With the treasure secured, they returned to the surface, their hearts filled with a renewed sense of purpose. They decided to donate the artifacts to a museum, ensuring their preservation for future generations. The farmhouse, their beloved home, would continue to stand as a testament to this sterling legacy. In the days that followed, Victoria and Alexander worked tirelessly to restore the farmhouse to its former glory. Their bond, once strained by betrayal and mistrust, grew stronger with each passing day. They learned the true value of their family's legacy, not in wealth or possessions, but in the love and unity that bound them together. And so, the sterling farmhouse stood proudly, its secrets revealed and its legacy secured, a beacon of hope and resilience for generations to come. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, do so.